Hey guys, welcome to the Perfectly Wasted podcast. I'm the host, Dulloxide. Today's episode 11 on budgeting. You can find all of the previous episodes in the Drinking Wise Men YouTube channel, as well as my bi-weekly podcast, Brew the Truth. You can find all my day-to-day photos and cosplay photos on my Instagram at Dulloxide. So today we're going to go ahead and talk about budgeting, and I feel like that we're going to make this into kind of like a short series of like life skills. We'll go over a couple of things we've already gone over. Grocery shopping, today's going to be budgeting, next time might be a little bit of cooking, or maybe some handyman things to try and fix around your house or your apartment if you need to. So the reason that I'm going over some of these life skills is because I personally feel like a lot of these skills have been lost in the newer generation, or if you've learned them, you've forgotten them and maybe need a reminder just to kind of try and help people along their way as they come into adulthood or to come into their own. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and talk about budgeting and how you can try and budget your money to be able to work towards a goal in the future, whether that be like a Nintendo Switch or a car or maybe a house even. Anything that you're trying to save money towards is what we're going to use this budgeting for. All right. So that being said, I went ahead and I made a quick little spreadsheet here. I know me and my spreadsheets, but I put a couple of definitions of what I feel like is important to budgeting, and we've input some information for like a standard 26-hour work week, which means that you're working part-time. The amount that I put in here is for a 26-hour work week with minimum wage, which is $8.25 in my area. So some of the things you need to know, basic definitions. Net income is going to be your income over a 6 to 12 month period on average. All right, so whatever your average is over that period of time, if you just got a new job, that's obviously not going to apply to you. You could plug in the numbers you feel like you're comfortable with that your new job is going to provide you. Adjusted monthly expenses are going to be things that you can change to try and save a little bit more. The non-adjusted monthly expenses are going to be things that are static, that either you're going to have to deal with for the next 6 to 12 months, or that you just can't change because there's no way for you to change it without incurring more debt. And then, of course, saving is going to be any money that you can save. So we went ahead and we threw in here that, like I said, 26-hour work week on minimum wage is going to make you about $860. That's an approximation, all right? Then, assuming that you make this amount, you're either living with your parents or you're only contributing partially for a place that you rent or towards a mortgage. So we're going to say that your portion of the rent's about $450. And then with that, you more than likely don't own a car. If you do own a car, then go ahead and put your car payment in here, and then in other, you're going to put your insurance and gas costs by month. All right? So then your utilities probably not going to be super, super high because you're sharing it. That's going to be about $100. So that's going to make it so that your non-adjustable expenses are about $550. Then your adjustable expenses. All right, I went ahead and I put in $75 here for food. Now, this is just groceries. This is not like going out to eat, anything like that, just groceries. If you're spending more than $75 a month on yourself, then there's another video I made. It's about grocery shopping. Go check it out. We can get that down to $75. You can still eat and not feel like you're starving yourself. If you really have to make some adjustments to your food, you could totally do so to get it down to even like a $30 a month range just by eating like rice and beans. It's not the best diet. I would not recommend it, but some people are in situations where they really have to get the lowest cost. It means you're practically not eating out ever unless someone else is paying for you. All right, your phone bill, if that phone bill is over $50, then you need to get on Boost or whoever is your local carrier. If you're using it for Crunchyroll or Netflix or whatever you're using plan, so that you're not paying out the ass for your phone bill. Entertainment. Entertainment is literally anything beyond the norm. If you're using it to go see a movie, if you're using it to go out to eat with friends, if you're using it for, Crunchyroll or Netflix or, whatever you're using it for, that's going to come out of this budget that we've allocated here. I'm going to put $100 in because you got to live a little, even if you're working on part-time. So that comes through and that saves us about $85 a month, which is not great. Honestly, if you're only saving $85 a month, then you need to probably get a second part-time job. Now, I've only allocated for 2 part-time jobs and other here. If you have more than 2 part-time jobs, then something's got to give already. Because if you're working 3 jobs, 4 jobs, 5 jobs, that's already going to go through and it's going to adjust for every single one of those jobs your availability, which means that you're not going to be scheduled very frequently for any of these jobs. So my suggestion to you, that person that works these 3 or 4 jobs, is to stick with the one that pays the most, try and get a job that's higher paying, or to just try and find a full-time job. If you can't get a full-time job due to school or some other reason that you just can't work a full 40-hour work week, then I would suggest applying somewhere that pays more or to have more flexibility. But more than 2 jobs is just too much. It's going to make it so that no job is going to be able to schedule you based on conflicts of scheduling. So that's the first thing that I'd suggest on changing. If you're inside of this $85 range and you own a car, maybe you want to consider carpooling or perhaps selling your car if you're making payments on it and getting a beater car that you could just get around in. Things like that. If your phone budget is too high, if your entertainment budget is too high, that's something that you can adjust. Obviously, if you're making this little, chances are you probably aren't going to be able to afford a pet. So maybe if you have a pet, you have to try and adjust some of your other things so that your pet's lifestyle doesn't have to be drastically affected by your lack of funds, essentially. So there's a lot of things that you can adjust inside of here that can make it so that you're living through a budget that you can live with, essentially. You're shooting for a savings of at least $300 a month. If you're not saving $300 a month, then you're not really saving anything towards anything. You're never going to be able to buy that Nintendo Switch or that car or that house that you want to eventually get without getting a loan. And who wants to pay off loans? It's just student loans and home loans are things that are necessities if you're trying to have a career or if you're trying to build a life. But those are things that you need to build up quite large savings towards already to be able to afford. So this is going to try and get you on the right path so that you can budget properly, so that you're not spending all your hard-earned money towards just living paycheck to paycheck, because nobody wants that. So if you need to make some life adjustments, hopefully this is going to help you out in trying to make those life adjustments. Hopefully this is helpful to some of you guys to try and give you a better idea of what you need to change to make life more livable, more fun. Again, we put entertainment in there because sometimes you just need it. Sometimes you need that trip somewhere to either a movie or a staycation or whatnot that can just kind of let you relax, because I know school can be stressful, life can be stressful, jobs can be stressful. All right, so just keep in mind that you have to have some entertainment in there, whether that's just a small subscription to like Netflix so that you can get a little bit of TV watching in, or whatever that might be. You need to relax, okay? Now, keep in mind, everything that's in here is just kind of something that I put together myself. All of the definitions are in my words. This is not the perfect budgeting tool. It's definitely missing a lot. There are things that no one can foresee in the future that are going to cost you money that hopefully you have money saved for. This is going to try and make it so that you do have some money saved, and just as a very basic tool to try and get you through the beginning of budgeting. All right? This is not the perfect tool for everyone. This is not going to all of a sudden turn your life around. You're not going to all of a sudden start saving money. Most of budgeting is on you, okay? This means that you're not going out and you're buying, a pack of gum every other day, or getting that Starbucks, or driving 100 miles away to go and eat like White Castle or any of these things. If you're spending your money that you're saving and you just don't have any savings, then that's on you. You have to be the one that makes these changes to your life to be able to have a more comfortable life in the future, and to make it so that you're not living paycheck to paycheck. So if you're one of those people that needs to go out and needs to spend all of their hard-earned money every time it's inside of your wallet, then really there's not much helping you. You're going to have to learn on your own. But that's why we have that entertainment budget in there, so that if you are that person that needs to go out and get those nuggets every once in a while, that yes, you have the money to do it, and yes, you're trying to save towards a greater goal in the future. Again, trying to have some fun with your money. I'm not saying that all of the fun is going to be taken out of it. I'm just saying that usually if you're budgeting your money properly, you're going to be able to save a greater amount for more fun into the future. And Hopefully this has helped you try and achieve that. So thanks again here for joining us, guys. Please like, subscribe, share. If you have any suggestions for future videos or any other life skill videos, please feel free to contact me either in the comments or directly. Thanks again for joining us. That was 10 minutes perfectly wasted.